there, thanks for tuning into Duck Bricks. I'm Chris, and I recently got the chance to visit Atlanta, Georgia, and of course, I had to go visit the legendary Altanta Brick Co., which is one of, if not the largest, used LEGO store in the entire US. It may be the largest one in the world, and my experience was absolutely amazing. This was my first time there because I haven't really gotten the chance to go to Atlanta that often. I was just there for work, so I just was able to pop by, but this was such a cool thing to experience. And of course, throughout this video, I'll be giving my thoughts on the store, giving kind of a full tour, showcasing videos and images I took at the store. And of course, at the end of every used LEGO store trip, there will be the haul. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I cannot wait to get into this, so let's just jump right in to our tour of Altanta Brick Co. Yeah, so I was lying through my teeth in the intro. This was actually all for LEGO Masters. We happened to be able to go to Altanta Brick Co. in between filming the finale. I realized after starting to edit this back in March of 2023 that almost every single one of my photos taken in the store features Sam, and either I was going to have to not show half the photos, as well as not show significant parts of the haul because there were LEGO Masters related stuff there, or just simply sit on this footage and wait to release this video when I finally came out as the winner of LEGO Masters past December 2023. And so I was like, you know what? Let's just wait and do this video justice so I can actually talk about my full experience there without having to hide the fact that I was in Atlanta for LEGO Masters. And so here we are arriving at Altanta Brick Co., which is one thing that I was really excited about because I have, again, never been before, so it was really cool to go there. This was also at the time that our families were out for filming the finale, so I got to go with my families as well and meet the winners of LEGO Masters Season 2, so everything was really awesome. It was an absolute blast being able to check out this amazing store, and I can't wait to show the entire tour because this is simply one of the coolest used LEGO stores I have ever been to in my life. And if you're not following the Altanta Brick Co. YouTube channel, I'd highly recommend you check it out because it is a really cool channel where they showcase some of the most interesting items that come in and also talk about LEGO Masters, and it was really fun watching their reactions to the show week by week. We also got to meet Jillian here, who's really awesome. She's a big member of the LEGO community, so it was really cool just getting to meet people and just introduce ourselves as the newest contestants on LEGO Masters Season 4. Obviously, it was all a big secret at the time, but now we can finally get out with it, so I'm very happy to be able to showcase that. But almost immediately when we went in the store, they brought us into the back rooms and started giving us a tour of some of the most insane back rooms I have ever seen in any used LEGO store in my life. And that is counting the ones I went to in Singapore months later. Honestly though, I think the best place to start here is by just giving you a full-on tour of Altanta Brick Co. From the moment you enter the store all the way into checking out the incredible merchandise they have. And again, this was filmed all the way back in March of 2023, so I'm sure their selection has changed quite a lot by now. I believe they've gotten rid of the Nexo Knights gigantic display, which is very sad. I wish that stayed in the store, but overall, you can kind of see the layout in this video, and hopefully it'll give you a sense of the kinds of things you can expect to see at a really cool LEGO used store like this. So, first of all, as you go in, the first thing that you see is, of course, the LEGO Masters Season 2 trophy, which they have proudly on display in the store, which is very, very cool. They even had a vehicle test drive section akin to the Legoland parks and Legoland Discovery Centers, which was really interesting to see that integrated into a used LEGO store. Easily one of my favorite things to see there was that particular section, and as you go deeper inside, I was honestly just really impressed by the organization of every single piece involved. Themes were segmented exactly by year, by theme, by section, and it was all just very clear which sections corresponded to what. I personally wish I just had more time here because we only had just about an hour or 2 hours before we had to get going and get back to work, so I really was only just able to breeze through the store, but I'm sure that if I ever get to visit again, I'm taking a look at maybe visiting Atlanta BrickCon. I am sure I will come back here and spend a lot of time in the store because their selection was absolutely insane. They even had sale cases like that 20% off case that we just passed, a ton of bulk brick, sealed sets, used sets, you name it. If it's a LEGO set you're looking for, the odds were pretty high that they had it. Not only was this a used LEGO store, but they also had a lot of really cool LEGO LEGO displays, the really interesting thing that Atlanta Brick Co. does is they often get used props from the LEGO Masters show, so they get copies of stuff that basically comes off of the studio lot. So they had a lot of interesting displays from previous years of LEGO Masters, and they were actually kind enough to ship me a piece of one of my LEGO Masters builds, the Bionicle Volcano. A couple of segments of the build survived, were given to the Atlanta Brick Co. store, and they shipped it to me for free. So first of all, thank you so much for doing that. That is really cool. And second, that is amazing how they actually get LEGO Masters bits and pieces, because we don't even get our LEGO Masters builds, but somehow they do sometimes in terms of bulk trade-ins. It's also really funny because the production studio in charge of LEGO Masters often does use them as a resource. If they need bulk pieces or one of a particular kind of piece, they'll just go here and try to make a deal. So it's really funny how that's kind of how the show runs, is that sometimes they will just go to Atlanta Brick Co. and get pieces they need, which is pretty nuts. Now, this section right here in the video was one of my favorites because they had some of the rarest LEGO items on the wall going up to this cabinet there, and we'll take a much closer look at that as we move on further in the video, but for now I just wanted to do a quick overview of all of the interesting things to see, because this was such a cool experience and I had a blast exploring the store. Now, everybody was kind enough to actually give us a tour of the entire store, and one of my favorite things to see were these bricks right here. Every single brick here is a non-production or pre-production piece, meaning they exist in colors that they have never appeared in official sets. Somehow Atlanta Brick Co. gets these directly from the LEGO factory, and they easily had the most interesting selection of just weird stuff like that. Stuff that you won't ever see at any other used LEGO store, but for whatever reason they just happen to have in stock, and just seeing those treasures was really cool to be able to actually go to a physical store and interact with these incredibly rare LEGO items. Now, my favorite section here was, of course, the Bionicle section, or at least one of my favorites. We're making our way over to it now, but of course they did have a full-on Ninjago section as well, plus a ton of city-style mocks, and just interesting used sets in display cases from all sorts of eras of LEGO history. They did even have some models hanging from the ceiling, like that Alien Conquest UFO, which was very, very cool to see, and overall, the sheer selection and scope of the store was absolutely astounding. I mean, you can just see how many sets are on the shelves here, whether in boxes, or in the cases, or just on display, or built. This is probably the largest selection of used LEGO that I've ever seen in my life. Singapore technically had a warehouse full of sealed sets that I think rivaled this. I think they had a little more, but again, those were all sealed. Seeing a mix of sealed and used sets were really, really interesting for me to see, and I just had an absolute blast exploring around. Now, I'm really curious in the comments if folks are spotting some of their favorite sets, if you spot any sets that maybe you own, or maybe you have your eye on, because it was really fun just being able to explore here. I wanted to highlight some of my favorites, including this really good condition LEGO System Pirates cardboard treasure chest. This is one of the most interesting packaging designs LEGO has ever done for any individual LEGO item, and I have never seen it in such good condition. In fact, over at Scareback Fan Weekend, the largest LEGO European convention, I had a chance to actually get a copy of this, but it was in such a beat up condition. I just kept thinking back to the one I saw at Atlanta Brick Co. and thinking, well, maybe I can get it in such good condition the next time I go. They had this really fun LEGO Time Cruisers Time Twister set. They had some sealed LEGO monorail tracks, which was crazy to see those, and even some golden brick LEGO brick boxes, which are pretty exclusive and rare to see. This shelf, as I mentioned, was full of some of my favorite sets, some rare stuff like Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, and even some LEGO Insectoid sets here and there. They had the infamous sarcophagus from LEGO Adventures, which I only recently was able to get. And this cabinet here held some of the rarest items of all, including non-production Darth Vader minifigures, which of course I had to get one for myself, as well as one of the white metal Chronicles being sold for $2,000, which in my opinion was maybe a little bit more expensive than I was willing to pay. I've seen them sell online for anywhere between $200 to like $800, maybe even $1,000, so I personally passed on that, but it was really cool to see it in person, and I'm curious if it's sold. I'm sure that between now and then somebody has to have picked it up, because it is a really cool Bionicle item. What I did also have my eye on was Zack the Lego Maniac, which I did not unfortunately get this time, but maybe in the future I'll be able to pick that one up because it was only given out at LEGO Brand Retail Manager Employee Conferences and is easily one of the rarest LEGO items to exist. Now this here is a full-on LEGO City working mock that they have inside the store, complete with a train that runs around, which is very cool, and a bit of a Marvel display integration as well. I'm sure Jonathan, aka Mini Superheroes Today, really liked that display when he got a chance to visit, as well as the fact that the store was covered with official LEGO store displays, which was very, very interesting. Now, you can see they proudly state that they have the world's largest selection of LEGO pieces, which I 100% believe. And there's honestly not much else I can say other than the fact that this is simply one of the coolest used LEGO stores to visit ever. You simply have to see it to believe it. Like, this was pretty special to just be able to see such an insane collection of stuff. Look at multiple copies of Overwatch sets there. They had a ton of Speed Champions, LEGO Juniors, Harry Potter. This is the superhero DC section, so they had a ton of DC sets from over the many years. It was just insanity, pure insanity, and I just love the layout of it. It kind of reminded me of my own collection in some ways, where they just had a ton of built sets all around, kind of categorized into themes, but also just scattered around the store. Kind of felt a bit like home, and you know, at that point in filming, we had been filming for like 2 months, I was feeling nostalgic for home, so this was a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Here is the LEGO movie section, 2 copies of Metalbeard's Sea Cow, which is absolutely crazy to see, and one of my favorite sections to take a look at and to buy from was the Speed Champions section, because I actually managed to get a lot of Speed Champions cars that I was missing from my collection and finally plug some of those holes. Of course, that's the Bionicle section right there, so we have to spend some time taking a look at their Bionicle selection, including some of these special, like, Kabaya promos, which was insane that they even had those, and even some of the rarest LEGO Bionicle masks being sold one by one. One of my favorite builds was this custom mock version of one of, like, the Bionicle good guy, bad guy polybags. I was really tempted to pick that up because that's actually a really solid mock. They have, like, 2 versions of them from the original LEGO Bionicle small-scale polybag sets. I don't know who created those, but they were on sale, so I found that to be really interesting how they were actually selling mocks as well, and good mocks to boot. Like, those were pretty solid mocks, and I definitely want to take a closer look if they're still there in the store the next time I go, although honestly, they probably won't be. Sadly, the Bionicle weapons hanging from the ceiling were not really for sale. I asked and they were, but the price was so high that it was clear that they wanted to keep it in stock, and they're like, well, if you want to buy it off of us for this crazy price, you can, but we prefer to keep it on display, which I totally understand. Those are really good indicators in the store to actually be able to see what aisle you're in, so totally get it. I let them keep it, but it was really cool seeing those particular items, and I also really enjoyed seeing this LEGO Classic section. Here's where you have a lot of classic LEGO space sets, like the original LEGO Space Police base, and then you move on upwards to other original LEGO themes like Agents, Galaxy Squad, Aqua Raiders, some of the LEGO City space stuff. It was just a really interesting selection of LEGO sets throughout the years. Now, of course, as I mentioned, their back rooms were admittedly some of the coolest sections of the entire store. Seeing a bin full of hundreds of Rancors, okay, maybe not hundreds, but dozens at least, of Star Wars Rancors is enough to make your head spin. And this is the kind of store that you can really get lost in. Like, I could have totally spent hours inside this store, and I'm pretty sure I still would miss a ton of stuff. Everywhere I turned, there were interesting, rare LEGO sets that I just hadn't seen a moment before because I was so overwhelmed by the sheer amount of options there that I didn't even get to see them. Like this Exo Force section here, this is their Technic section with a ton of different LEGO Technic sets over the years. I made sure to get some sealed LEGO Classic Technic sets they had for pretty good prices, and one thing that I love about it is that their selection of random LEGO items was pretty eclectic. They had some LEGO Racers RC car stuff, which I managed to pick up. There's gonna be a haul at the end of this video, but that haul was only like the stuff that fit in my hand. I got a lot more items from here that I'm still in the process of putting together and adding to my collection, so I kind of wish that I filmed the haul at the store itself because it was honestly a crazy time wrapping up filming LEGO Masters. I had a ton of LEGO to practice with me in my hotel, and then I added this onto that, so I've kind of lost track at this point which sets I got. I actually got a chance to technically go twice. I sent someone to go for me the first time, and then I went myself the second time, so I got a lot of items from the store. I honestly do not remember every single item I got. I know it was a lot of Speed Champions. It was like the Knights Kingdom skeleton prison carriage. I also got the LEGO Studios kind of Frankenstein's Monster Lab, so all sorts of just random stuff that I didn't show and won't show in the haul at the end of this video, but at the end of this video, the haul does focus on some of the most interesting and rare items I was able to get. But now, I'll let the pictures and videos do the talking for me as we take a look at all of the rest of the store, which is barely enough to fit in one video. And with our tour coming to an end, I think it's now time to transition over the incredible haul. Again, this doesn't cover everything, really just only the items that could fit in my hand in smaller Ziplocs, but I'm really happy to be able to showcase at least these special items for you right now, and I might do a separate video on some of the other items once I get to building them, because I'm gonna be honest, I am recording this video in December of 2023, and I still have not built most of the stuff I got from the store, so I don't know when that's gonna happen. That may be a separate video, but for now, let's jump on over to the small haul. I think the best part to start off this Atlanta Brick Co. haul is actually taking a look at some of the rarest and most interesting items I was able to pick up from the store. Of course, I got a ton of sets and whatnot, but really the highlight was being able to pick up some of these incredibly rare pieces of LEGO history, or just rare Comic-Con minifigures and the like. So the first thing I want to say is obviously Atlanta Brick Co. was really great and gave us a ton of swag as we were leaving, so thank you so much. We have this amazing little pin right here, which you can use, of course, to show off the brand. We got a lot of stickers as well. This is actually another pin, so 2 different pins and stickers showcasing the different store employees, so this is really cool. Just a nice thing to get that they had custom made for the store itself. Now, very interestingly enough, we actually were able to pick up some pretty rare factory misprints and molds from the store itself, so I'm going to set those aside for now, but the one thing I really want to say, which was really nice, was that they actually gave us a little bag where it says, no matter what happens, you're LEGO Masters to us, signed by the actual winners of Season 2, which is really great, as well as folks in the store, thanks for visiting, and their own golden brick, so that was really sweet. I mean, this was just a really nice thing to get from them, and obviously we had not really talked a ton about it. Like, we had kind of been under the understanding that they knew why we were there, but it was just really cool to be able to get this golden brick from them, which was just a really nice and special thing. So thank you so much to the folks at Atlanta Brick Co. for giving us this. Now to the stuff that I actually purchased. This one right here was one that I'm pretty glad I purchased. It cost only $700, and yeah, I know I say only with a caveat, but if you go on Bricklink right now, the cheapest price is $1,561. So, in my opinion, $700 was actually pretty good for a minifigure like this. Now, it did not have the specialized card that he came in, but the minifigure is legit LEGO. Atlanta Brick Co. would not sell a minifigure that was not real, so this, you can see both expressions here. There was a bit of a paint damage on the back here, so you can see a chip in the tooth there, but it's not that big of a deal. I'll mostly just display him with this face anyways. Now, you can remove the head and showcase what the torso looks like. So far, this has been our only regular style of Bizarro minifigure. We got one with short legs for the Mighty Micros series, but that was a kind of cartoony version of him. It wasn't really a full-on regular Bizarro, so far, at least of the time of this recording, again, I don't know when the show is airing. Like, I'm filming this in April, so this could come out next year. Like, I don't know when the show is airing. I'm filming this April of 2023, so maybe by then, who knows? DC might have made a comeback and we could have gotten another Bizarro.
but I doubt it, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is probably going to still be the only standard Bizarro minifigure that we've gotten, so it's really cool how it was only $700, and I'm quite curious that whenever this video is published, if the price will go up even higher, because right now it's $1,500, but the prices of these are just climbing, climbing, and climbing. So I want to collect all the Comic-Con minifigures, and this one I definitely wanted to pick up when I could still get him for a fairly good price, so that's why I went ahead and got this. Next up here, this one I paid $30 for. It is a specialized B Ninja 2021 Legoland Ninjago coin. It's just kind of a unique thing. I've collected all of the really rare and exclusive Chinese Ninjago coins. I think I spent like $600 on them or something ridiculous like that to get all the 10 years of Ninjago Chinese coins. So this one is obviously a lot cheaper because it was given out to kids at Legoland, but it's actually really nice. It's got a good weight to it. Like, this feels like a metal coin. 10 Ninjago years, and it says 2021 B Ninja. So that is a special Legoland Ninjago coin. Now this is really special. I paid $80 for this one, and this is... LEGO will deny the existence of this minifigure because technically they are not supposed to be made, and there's a bit of a dark backstory behind these. Essentially, the way that this is made, it's a transparent red Darth Vader, and factory employees will specifically mold pieces in colors that they are not supposed to be in to sell online. And this is one of them. So it is a transparent red Darth Vader that, like, obviously isn't officially supposed to be made, but it's made with Lego plastic in a Lego factory. So it is like a Lego item, but Lego themselves will never ever say that this is an official item, of course, because it is factory employees acting independently to make them. But this is so cool because it is obviously the Darth Vader helmet, transparent red, as well as the mouth, like kind of the rebreather piece on the bottom, transparent red. Even the lightsaber hilt itself is transparent red. The arms, the hands, it's just so cool. Kind of a funny story behind this, and what happened was that I wasn't really sure if I was going to get this, but I was there with Sam, and Sam had his eye on it, and he wasn't sure either. And in true Lego Masters fashion, I had to beat him to the punch. I was like, all right, well, if Sam is eyeing that transparent red one, but hasn't made a decision, I will get it first. So I quickly snapped up the trans red one. I think he got the light aqua one. There was like a light aqua one, which was pretty cool. So we each walked away with a specially colored Darth Vader, kind of to commemorate our time visiting the store. So that was a really good time. Now, setting that aside, there's actually a bag full of really rare items. Now, these are specifically parts that were made, again, in the factory, but were not supposed to be colored this way. The prices were not actually that bad. They range around $5 to $10 each. If you're curious, you can kind of read the writing on this Ziploc, which says how much everything was. So, like, I think the most expensive one was actually the 1x3 silver? Maybe 1x3 silver? I don't even see a 1x3 silver in here. Huh. Maybe they meant 1x1 silver? I don't know. But anyways, this is just a collection of pieces that never existed in these colors, but they actually just had for sale from their contacts in the factories. What was really cool was that these two pieces, which are probably the two that were the most interesting to me, they actually gave this to us as a free gift. They were selling them, but they said we could just have them as part of the LEGO Masters family, so that really means a lot. Thank you so much, again, for giving us these. This is so, so cool. I'm very happy to add these to my collection, because, I mean, I definitely would have bought them if they didn't just give it, so that was really awesome. We have a number of other transparent elements, a 2x6 transparent orange brick, which is so interesting, trans yellow 2x3, a 1x6 plate in transparent yellow, which is really, really cool to get. What else do we have? I got a lot of pieces in silver, because I just thought the color was cool to see bricks and plates in the metallic silver color. Pretty rare to see that. This is also... there's something special about... what is the special thing about that? 1x1, very light gray. Is there something special about that? Yeah, 1x1, very light bluish gray. So this was $5. Yeah, oh, I see it. Okay. So this, like, you can't quite even tell on camera. This is definitely not a chance this shows up on camera. But the color of the dark gray is a little bit off compared to LEGO's actual dark gray color. Let me see if I can find, like, a brick that I can use to compare this against, because it is really interesting. Yeah, so this is like a regular dark bluish gray brick. And here, you can kind of see, it's so hard to tell on camera, but this is lighter than this. Like, the color is not right. It's really close. Like, it's really hard to tell, but the color is like this one, when you look at it with like human eyes, it is a little bit lighter, which is obviously an imperfect brick, so this one would definitely not have been supposed to be sold, but they were selling it for, looks like $4 I paid for this. Was it worth it? Maybe not, because I mean, you can't, like, you can tell that it's not right if you like are looking at it in hand, but from afar or by itself, you can't really tell. So maybe that one was just like a silly one to get, but I just wanted to support the store and whatnot. The one that's more obvious is this. This is a weird color. This is a very light bluish gray, slightly whitish. Like, it's a mix between light gray and white, and this is definitely like this and this. This one's really easy to see. Like, this is not a Lego color. It very clearly is something that is a cross between white and light gray, so this is really cool to get, and I wanted to get a little piece for it as well. Another metallic silver 1x2 brick. This is really cool because it's in the violet color. This was the color that they pretty much only used for Jango Fett in 2002, and they used it for like a couple other things, but no standard, really Lego standard regular bricks out of it. So this is a very interesting recolor. This is also a strange brick color piece. This is, I believe, what is the official name for this color? Light brown. No, that's light brown. This is the 1x8. Let's see if we can find it on the list here. Huh. I don't actually see it here. Maybe? Weird. There was a point in which Sam and I's like purchase might have just gotten mixed up. Like, I honestly don't remember at this point because we were both getting a ton of these and picking out specific ones. But yeah, this is like a Fabulandy color. It's kind of like a brick yellow, I would say, 1x8. And then finally, this is a very strange light brown piece, which again, this is not an official Lego color, but it is a light brown 1x4. And there it is. So these were the very special and unique items. This is a mix of just kind of random bricks that just never would have appeared in these colors. Of course, you have the Bizarro Comic-Con minifigure, transparent red, Darth Vader, all sorts of good stuff there. And then the Ninjago coin, which like isn't really a rare item, but it's kind of just like a one-off random item that I figured out would make sense to include in this part of the haul.
Alright, and with that, we have summed up our look and tour of the Atlanta Brick Co. Let me know down in the comments below if you have visited yourself. What has been your experience with this really large used Lego store? I certainly had quite a blast going in and being able to interact with the folks running it and also being able to see all of the massive selection of Lego on display. And even with a collection of this size, there were still items I did not previously own that I wanted to get for the haul, which you just saw. So I hope you enjoyed this look at the amazing Atlanta Brick Co. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe for even more Lego news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon. Thanks so much, and bye for now.